Today, we're going to read two of my favorite books when I was little. When I was a little girl, these two books were read to me by my mom. We'd get in bed and we'd get cozy and she would read these books to me. And I've kept them all these years. Now, I want to share them with you. Now, this one is called The Snuggle Bunny. Look how old it is. Look how long we've had this book. The binding is coming apart, so I have to be really careful with The Snuggle Bunny. Once there was a snuggle bunny with no other bunnies to snuggle against. So the bunny snuggled against some soft green plants and the rough but gentle bark of trees, and rolled in the silly green grass of the meadow. But after a while, the bunny wished he could snuggle against someone who would snuggle back. Snuggling is no good alone, the bunny said to himself. I am a snuggle bunny, and where are the other bunnies? The bunny twitched his nose. It was wet and soft, and sighed with the wind. The wind brushed against him, and it was nice. But the wind was not warm and furry, and it made a lonely sighing sound in the night. And that made the bunny sad. He still wanted to snuggle with someone else. So one day, the snuggle bunny hopped down the path that followed the river to find another snuggler. He passed a boy and girl holding hands. Well, that's a nice kind of snuggling, he said. And he sat very still in front of them, but they didn't see him, so he hopped on. He passed some fuzzy wolf puppies, rolling in the dirt together and squeaking. But they were too busy with each other to even notice him. By now the sun was small and pale, like a hard-boiled egg, and the bunny shivered. He knew that soon it would be dark and cold, and the wind would start to sigh in that old lonely way that made him sad. He went by a field where two shaggy ponies were huddled together. Maybe they are just another snuggler and they want someone else to snuggle with, but they didn't notice him. And the bunny was sad. But just then he saw an old man sitting beside a tree. He had a lonely look on his face. So the bunny snuggled up against him, and the old man snuggled back. When the sun set, the old man carried the bunny to his little house, and they snuggled together happily all through the long, cold winter. Who do you like to snuggle with? Or maybe you have a stuffed animal you like to snuggle with? It's nice to snuggle, huh? Especially get something warm and cozy. So also when I was little, there was another book my mom would read me. And every time I knew it was going to happen, but I still waited for the end. And it's called Betty Bear's Birthday. I've had this book a long time too. And I've read it to my son Emilio and to my nieces and nephews, and they all love it. Let's read it together. Betty Bear's Birthday. Little Betty Bear woke up bright and early. It was her birthday. She jumped out of bed, washed her face, brushed her teeth, and put on her birthday dress. And then she kissed her mother, who said, "Happy birthday, my darling." And she kissed her father, who said, "Happy birthday, dear daughter." "Thank you, Mommy. Thank you, Daddy." Betty Bear answered happily, and she ate a hearty breakfast. And then she went for a walk. Soon Betty met her old friend, Tom Turtle. "Good morning, Tommy," said Betty. "Good morning," snapped Tom, and he crawled off. 2 more friends leaped by with a good morning and a hi, Betty, and they were gone just like that. Then Betty saw Molly Mouse, Sally Squirrel, and Chuck Chipmunk. She called, "Hello, friends." "Hello," they answered, but without another word, they scurried off. Next she came upon Freddie Fox. "How are you, Freddie?" she asked. "Oh, I'm all right, Betty," he answered. Then he said, "You know what? Sorry, I can't talk." And off he went. Well, Betty saw another friend. "Hello, Mrs. Bird," she said. "How are all your eggs today?" "Fine," Mrs. Bird answered, and then promptly flew off. As Betty watched Mrs. Bird getting smaller in the distance, something whizzed past. "Oh, well, David, dear, what's your hurry?" she asked. "Oh, I'm busy," he said. "I have to see you later." How strange, Betty thought. Where could they all be going in such a hurry? Even Herman Hedgehog had no time to talk, and nobody said, "Happy birthday" to me, she thought. Suddenly Betty Bear was sad and lonely. "I want to go home," she cried. This had not been a very good birthday so far, so she trudged home. But as she stepped into the quiet house, suddenly Betty heard shouts from all over. "Surprise, surprise! Happy birthday, Betty! Happy birthday!" And this was why her friends had to talk to her. They had wanted to surprise her, and here they all were, and other friends too. They didn't want her to be sad and lonely. They just wanted to surprise her for her birthday. Oh, and they gave her so many presents. Nuts and berries and honey. Oh, yes, it was such a happy birthday. And Betty Bear was so happy after all. The end. What are your favorite books? What are the ones that you want your mom or dad to read over and over to you? They make you so happy. Those are 2 of mine. Maybe look through your books at home tonight, today, and see what books you want your mom or dad to read to you that you know are your favorites. Until I see you again, I send you a big hug and a kiss.